Sarah placed her hand on her head and saw blood on her palm. A cold, calm smile spread across her face. She pulled out her phone and, without a tremor, called the police. "My husband attacked me," she said clearly. "I need medical assistance and immediate security." Darren's face shifted from rage to panic. "Sarah, what are you doing? It was an accident." "Not an accident," Sarah cut him off. "This was the last link in a long chain of financial abuse attempts." Immediately after, Sarah called her father, Colonel Robert Sterling, whose voice always carried military precision and authority. He said only 3 words: "Don't leave, I'm coming." Then, "Keep his mother away." When the police arrived, Sarah gave a full report: the plate hitting her head, her mother-in-law trying to claim the condo, and the $5,000 per month extortion attempt. With clear evidence of domestic abuse, Darren was removed from the condo under a temporary restraining order. Eleanor's screaming and pleading didn't matter. Colonel Sterling made sure his daughter received medical care and completed all legal procedures. Alone in her so-called castle, the condo she had built through years of effort, Sarah looked around. Broken china and dried blood on the floor mocked her hard work. What had once been her proudest achievement now felt poisoned. She decided she would free herself not only from Darren's shadow, but from the entire city. This castle, destroyed by Darren's hands, has become a weight on my path to freedom, she thought. She remembered that 6 months ago, her company's CEO had mentioned a vacancy for Director of West Coast Sales Operations in Los Angeles or San Francisco. The role paid over $300,000 annually and required full business commitment. At the time, Sarah had ignored the opportunity, overwhelmed by her toxic marriage. The next morning, with stitches in her head and heartbreak in her chest, Sarah sent her boss a short email. "I want the West Coast director position. I'll begin my plan tomorrow." She knew her second chapter would begin in a new city, with new ambitions and complete independence.
Sarah wasted no time. She hired one of Atlanta's top divorce attorneys. Because the condo had been her premarital property and she had clear evidence of abuse, the divorce process began swiftly. She instructed her attorney to demand full accounting of Darren's debts and the $1,000 monthly payments his mother had been receiving. Meanwhile, Sarah poured her energy into preparing her presentation for the new role. Her performance and fierce confidence impressed senior leadership. Within weeks, she got the call she had been waiting for. "Sarah, the VP position for West Coast Sales is yours. We're doubling your previous salary." The moment she heard it, Sarah made the decision to sell her home. Darren and Eleanor made one last desperate attempt to stop her. Eleanor called, crying, "Sarah, you're ruining my son's career. Don't you realize your mistake? That condo is our family's legacy." Sarah's response was firm and final. "Eleanor, the condo you wanted to claim has already been sold to a luxury housing developer. The paperwork is signed. There's no trace left for your son. And that $5,000, that's gone too. The condo sold for $500,000, and every penny belongs to me." She hung up and blocked them both forever. 4. Rebuilding in San Francisco. 1 month later, Sarah handed over the final keys to the Atlanta condo and headed to the airport. She started her new life in a San Francisco apartment overlooking the bay. The skyline and sunlight on the hills filled her with renewed determination. Her life had transformed completely. She now held a pivotal role in a global tech company and built a new circle of friends who respected her intelligence and capabilities. Her work became her peace and her new form of romantic fulfillment. 6 months later, she received a letter from her attorney with the final divorce decree. She also collected the repayment of Darren's debts and Eleanor's $1,000 reimbursement. Financially, she had reached a point where $5,000 a month now felt insignificant. Sarah tore Darren's picture out of an old album. She touched the scar on her head. The mark had become a symbol of her strength. She reflected, if Darren hadn't struck her with that plate, if Eleanor hadn't demanded $5,000, she might still have been trapped, quietly suffocating. Today, Sarah Sterling was a free, powerful, and fully independent woman. She was geographically and emotionally farther from her past than she had ever imagined. Darren and Eleanor were nothing more than a necessary tragedy, one that pushed her into a brighter future. She was finally capable of astonishing all her former enemies and even